The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Uptempo Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Blake Lang, here tonight with my co-host, Dustin Smith, and we are here to recap the SLU series from this past weekend. Dustin, it was a heartbreaker, man. Auburn takes game one of the series, and SLU bounces back in the Saturday doubleheader to win the series, man. A tough one, a heartbreaker. Just one that it hurts, man. It hurts because after that Friday night game, man, you really thought that Auburn had the series. You felt like they could win one of the next two, especially with Crotchfelt going on Saturday in the first game, man. It just looked like everything was headed into Auburn's favor, man. So, I know you took a trip up to Auburn this weekend to watch the full series, and you got to catch all three games. And so, man, I just want to, off the top, man, just talk about your trip and really what you thought this weekend of the Auburn baseball team.
I think we just retired. I think we just played 5 games in 6 days. And when you consider that we've already got all these guys banged up, it's like, okay, we're already using backups. And like I said, 5 games in 6 days. We just ran out of arms on Saturday, bro. We really did. Somebody in the bullpen's got to step up. It can't be John Armstrong every single time. Wow, shout out to John Armstrong, but dude's money. I mean, he comes in Friday night, 3.1 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 runs. Like, that dude works, man. You know what he's about. I tried to warn everybody. You kick a team's ass like the way we did South Louisiana in the regional, and they came ready to play. So it is what it is. Like, it's not too big of a deal. Positives out of the weekend. Zach Crotchfelt is that dude. Irish is still that dude, obviously. Chris Stanfield is saying, okay, y'all can figure all this out if guys get healthy, but you're not going to leave me out the lineup. So there's still some good things to see. And I like the fight, because in game 3, you were down to your final out and you almost come back and win. And that's really impressive considering the 5 games in 6 days. But all in all, a series that I don't think we should have dropped. We're the better team. It would have been interesting to see if we only would have played one midweek game, how this kind of would have went out. But, just going to have to bounce back and beat a good Georgia Tech team tomorrow night. So it's not one of the things where I'm freaking out or nothing. It's not – you didn't get smashed. But there are – at this point in the season, there are things that you look at and say, okay, this is a trend and this is a concern. And then obviously some good things, too, that you can look at and say, I mean, on Saturday, Ike went 5 for 9 with 3 RBIs. Like, the dude's just not slowing down, bro. So there's same thing with Bryson Ware, But Cole Foster has 4 hits, and then you find out after the game. You find out after the game he gets hurt. And then, we're at this point in the season. And are you with me now on being worried about Gonzo?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I wasn't at first, but watching him not throw this weekend, that hurt. It stung a little bit because, in my opinion, that tells me that he's not available for this weekend at Arkansas in your first SEC matchup. So, man, that is one thing with dropping this series is we didn't have Gonzo, and so there's still no excuse to drop this series, but like Butch said, man, SLU is not a team that you can sleep on. The state of Louisiana takes baseball very serious. It is a baseball state. They eat, sleep, and breathe baseball down in Louisiana, and we know what kind of programs are down there, man. You look at Louisiana Lafayette, you look at LSU, look at New Orleans, man. I mean, you could go on and on in that state. Monroe down there. I mean, they La Tech. I mean, they're just loaded down there in that state. But this team was scrappy, man. SLU never gave up, man. They ran every at bat. They hit the baseball. They hit the ball with pop, man. A lot of power, and they just play the game the right way. They hustle, and they're never out of anything, man. So I do want to give a shout out to Southeastern Louisiana. Great ball club, great coached club. And they're just scrappy, man. They're a scrappy bunch of guys. I saw a little trash talk. I saw where they blew one by Ike, and the pitcher come off the mound, and he had a few words to say, and I like that. I'm all for that. So kudos to them, man. They come in 2 Plainsmen and they got us. It wasn't a fully healthy Auburn team, and I'm okay with that. I'm not sitting here hitting on the panic button or anything like that. Like I tell you guys all the time, man, it's baseball. Weird things happen, okay? I'm also a believer in, I think if we would have played Sunday instead of a doubleheader on Saturday, I think we win the series. That's just me. But the third game, man, that was when I know Auburn made the comeback, but it just looked like nobody wanted to be there.
Do you think that if the third game is on Sunday, that maybe you can bring in Armstrong instead of having to bring in Ryan Olsen?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we would have been better. We would have been in a better situation to win Game 3 instead of it being the doubleheader on Saturday. So that is my reasons why I'm not panicking. Yes, I'm nervous about Gonzo. I hope he gets back as soon as possible. Some are saying that he'll be back for the Georgia series. I'm not totally sure on that. That's just a message board rumor. I don't believe a whole lot in message boards and what is said on there at all. That's just me.
He's coming back every weekend. This is the weekend.
I know, man. It's tough. It's so tough. Like, I don't know what to believe. But look, man, I mean, before we start breaking these 3 games down, I look at the starting rotation going into this weekend at Arkansas, and we know Crotchfelt had a day, man. I fully was just all in on him before the season ever started. When we had Lindsey on, we asked him, man, I said, hey, the Crotchfelt kid, all right, there's a lot of high praise coming from him. Is he that guy? And he said, well, Drew Nelson's kind of that guy right now. They're really expecting him to get a lot of ground balls and everything. It hasn't worked out that way. Crotchfelt steps up, makes a statement the other night against SLU. What did he throw? 5 innings? I mean, was just absolutely
5 innings,
dominant.
5 Ks, 3 hits, 0 earned runs. He turned the lead over to our bullpen, and then our bullpen said,
yeah, just look, I'll be honest with you. They shit on him. All right. Yeah. They shit on him. And it's tough, man. It's tough. It happens, and it's tough to watch. It was tough to watch it all fall apart. But hey,
it was tough being there.
I bet, because it was even tougher watching it. But I felt for Zach on that one, man. Hell of a performance for him. I remember tweeting out, I said, hey, have a day, kid. Put your stamp on that weekend rotation. And so, Dustin, I'm kind of looking at this, man, and what I'm kind of getting at is we look at this weekend, your Friday night guy. All signs are pointing to Tanner Bauman, right? And then Saturday, it's kind of looking. Do we go Crotchfelt on Saturday and Tommy Vale on Sunday? Does Tommy Vale go Friday night? Does Tanner Bauman? How are we working this thing out in your opinion, man?
So I thought that Tanner played well on Friday, but I still haven't seen Tanner go super deep. He went 4 innings, right? So I would like to, if you're gonna go with Tanner, I would like to see Connor Copeland. Now that depends. He might throw tomorrow versus Georgia Tech. And I might rule that out. But I would like to see somebody like that maybe kind of plan to be behind Tanner. Like if Tanner doesn't give us 5-6 innings, we have a guy like Copeland that's going to come in behind and kind of stack them. But I'm fine with Tanner being the Friday. I would personally like to see if you do that. Yeah, I would like to see right now, because right now I think that Tommy is throwing the best. So I would let Tommy be the Saturday guy in the same way that they let you, just using the same strategy they have for Gonzo, right? Like let's put our best pitcher, our best option in the middle. That way that's our best chance to win, and then we can come back on Sunday if we do lose to Friday. So yeah, I would go with Tanner on Friday, Tommy on Saturday, and then Zach on Sunday.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I was gonna say Tanner on Friday, and then you got Alsop and Armstrong out of the pen to kind of help Tanner, because he's not gonna go too long. I mean, I think 5 innings is about all you're gonna get out of Tanner Bauman. And then I think you got Armstrong and Chase right there to back him up. And then Saturday is definitely, in my opinion, is Tommyville. It's got to be. I mean, the dude's throwing lights out. And then Sunday, I think you go with Crotchfelt if you can get to a rubber match. True freshman, man, walking into Arkansas, man. Some people say that's the greatest college baseball atmosphere in the country, and what a hell of a program to just go in there and get your first SEC start. So yeah, I definitely had to ask that because I think that's a big deal this weekend, man. Opening up SEC play. But Dustin, let's get in here, man. Let's look at this first game. I thought this was a bright spot for the Auburn Tigers. Cole Foster with a huge game, man. Auburn opens up the series with a 7-1 victory. Chris Stanfield leaving his stamp on this game. Man, what did you think about the Auburn Tigers in game one? I know this one was on the radio, but you were at the game. You were there, man. Let me hear it.
Cole hit a shot, boy. That thing got out of there. And it was his night. I don't know where he got hurt. I racked my brain trying to find out where that happened. I don't know, because he looked great. Chris Stanfield, just can't say enough about him, dude. He looks just so fast going down those base paths. It makes you wonder, like, kid, can you run a fly route?
Man,
yeah. So just John Armstrong, just money, bro, just money. Like when he comes out the pen, you just know, like, you just got that feeling like everything's going to be okay. He was in such command, just that pitch clock wasn't getting under, 8 seconds. He's just letting that thing go. He knows what he's doing. So that was the most impressive thing to me about Friday was just your pitching. I mean, you look at it, one run versus a team that you find out the next day has got some pop. They can hit and I'll tell you, like, that bullpen or that dugout for Southeast, they were chirping, bro. Like, they were chirping, they were loud. This was a big, big series for them, and you could tell that from the jump Friday night. Like, they were ready to go. They were in it. So they were, they came in ready to play, man. They came with some fire. Good crowd, fun night. Probably even got down into the 40s at some point. I had to throw the hoodie on. And the way my arm is right now, I don't know if cold is the best. Cold bones, but cold fractured bones. But yeah, man, fun night. They Southeast traveled well, and the story of the night to me was just Tanner. Even when Tanner got in trouble, he maintained it. He got out, and then when John comes in, it's just like, okay, once Cole hit that shot to go up 7-1, there was not a doubt in your mind that John was going to finish it out.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
A lot of errors, though. And like, this is something that started Friday night that then led into both games on Saturday. Like,
great point.
A lot of stupid plays, and it started Friday night from some veteran guys where it's like, what are you doing? Like, I know you're better, and that led into Sunday because then we just a lot of blunders in the field this weekend.
Great point. Great point. It was super sloppy defensively. But man, the one thing that stuck out to me in game one was the bullpen. All right. Tanner did great, but the bullpen coming in and throwing 5 scoreless frames, man. Parker Carlson, Trevor Horn, and ultimately John Armstrong. That's what Auburn has to have out of their bullpen. Look, we know this team's going to hit, all right, but we have to shore up this bullpen, all right? We got to have guys step up, and that's what happened Friday night, and it didn't happen the last 2 games of the series. So my other highlight in game one, and I got to ask you this, man, Chris Stanfield, all right? He was really a highlight for me all weekend, Dustin. Look, man, I got to be honest. I've ran through lineups through my head, man. Chris Stanfield can't come out of the lineup, Dustin. He can't.
No.
There's no way you can take the kid out of the lineup right now. He's playing some of the best baseball that we've seen, man. I mean, his short career in an Auburn uniform, man. He's playing some of the best ball on the team. Confidence in the box. Look, like I said the other night, man, he hits a lazy ground ball. All right. And I'm telling you, you pat twice, you're in trouble because he's already 94 feet. All right. He's through the bag on you.
They beat one out this weekend. Yeah. He
had
an infield hit.
You're in trouble, man. I'm telling you that's how special this kid is. His defense is phenomenal. I mean, just the ground that he covers in the gaps and the little lazy Texas leaguers, and he can just get to everything. I just don't see a way that you can take him out of this lineup. I really don't, Dustin. And I don't know if you move Justin Kirby. Do you platoon him? Do you put Stanfield in left? Do you bring Bobby to DH? Like I keep running over things. Does Ike and Coop, do they sit there and rotate it first? Like I'm just sitting here running through lineups, man, because you got to keep Chris Stanfield on the field. And for everybody who says you take Kaysen out of center, that's a moot point. That's dead.
Yeah,
Stop talking about it. It's not going to happen. No. And Kaysen's hitting the baseball right now. So, I really don't want to hear the whole Kaysen Howe slander because he's top 5 center fielder in college baseball. So let's calm those talks down.
Yeah, no, you can't take Chris out, bro. It's just if a guy gets his shot, let's say that whenever Dylan Carwell went down, that all of a sudden here came Johan and he just started dropping 15 points and 10 rebounds. You gonna take him out? No, of course not.
No.
You put in a receiver and all of a sudden he starts getting 100 yards a game. In any sport, you're gonna play the hot hand. So yeah, everything about the kid, he's got all the tools at all the positions. Like you said, base paths, at the plate, out in the field, the ground he covers. Pretty cool to get to see his first home run. So
oh man.
Yeah. So he's just another one of these like super, super talented freshmen to where I don't know how deep this team goes this year. If it, never want to count them out. Long way to go.
Oh yeah.
But for sure, but man, the future is you got some guys that you look at and say, boy, you can really, really build around some of these guys. And where are they going to be? Like, where are they going to be in 3 years? Because this is where they're at now. This is where they're at now, just starting out college baseball. Where are they going to be? And guys like Gabe Gross, Bush Thompson, you got those kind of guys that are going to develop them. So the sky's the limit for Ike Irish. The sky's the limit for Chris Stanfield. And as far as the lineups and how to use them, the way our injury looks going right now, it's not going to matter. Yeah. I mean, every series we got guys getting banged up. So as it stands right now, I mean, in that third game, it kind of looked like we were trying to just fill some spots.
Yeah.
Like it just looked like, okay, we've played a lot of baseball this week, and we're running out of bodies. So as far as all that goes, right now, I don't think it matters because you just got so many key guys that are hurt.
Yeah, man. Great stuff there. He's 100% got to stay in the lineup. Hopefully Cole is back for the Arkansas series, man. I really liked what I saw out of Gavin Miller this weekend. Honestly, man, I think he's a guy that you can put over there at third. And I liked Bryson moving over to second. Second's been kind of, Caden Green and Brody Moss been kind of platooning there. And in my opinion, they're just, it's been back and forth. And I think this Gavin Miller, man, you put him over here, he's got a little pop. He's something at the plate. And he could fix a hole in the lineup. He's got a glove, got an arm over there at 3B, and you put Bryson over there at 2B, and we know what he can do at the plate. And I really like that. I think Butch is working with something there. Once Cole gets back, I think he'll be back this weekend for the Arkansas series.
Hope so.
100%. But man, let's look at this game 2. All right. And this was the heartbreaker for me. We can talk about game 3 all we want to, right? But game 2 was the game where you were up 3-0. Zach Crotchfelt pitched one hell of a performance. He had a day. I thought that he was just overflowing with confidence, Dustin. I thought you look at a freshman like this, he's pumping the fastball, 93, 92, 93, 94. And it was really good stuff on the breaking ball, and he just had all the command. There was a couple times where he kind of went deep into some counts, but he always worked himself out of it, man. And I thought he threw an absolute gem. And then, like we said earlier, his bullpen let him down, and it was tough to watch. It was one of them, man, where you knew when you lost game 2 what was about to happen in game 3. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, for sure.
The way we lost game 2 and ended game 2, I said nothing good is going to come out of this game 3. Okay. And boy, man, 2 tough ones you had to watch on Saturday. But man, just give me your overall thoughts on Zach Crotchfelt, this team, and I'll be honest with you, man. I keep saying it, Chris Stanfield. Well, how you doing?
To your point about the game 3 not being just kind of knowing the way game 2 ended, Butch spoke about that after game 3 in his press conference. He said, "I just felt like the energy from game 2 led right into game 3, and we didn't get it turned around until obviously it was way too late." Me and you've talked before about Crotchfelt, and this is the thing about I'm not worried about him going into Arkansas this weekend. And if his stuff isn't there, then it's not there, and he gets touched up, whatever. But it's not going to be a mental thing, because the way this kid pitches, the way this kid competes, he just, I don't know, man. You just tell he's a dog. And then when the stuff's going, he had one bad outing to start the year off, and since then he's been money. So I'm really excited for him, and I hate the fact that he turns it over to the bullpen, scoreless. And then Chase Allsap, who's been good coming out the pen, who in his last 2 appearances out the pen has been solid. It's immediate. He's 1 inning, he gives up 4 hits and 2 runs, and I'm not trying to pile on, guys. I'm just reading the numbers. Chase Isbell not having a good start to the season. And the frustrating thing about that is with some of these guys, it's kind of getting to the point to where when we see you take the bump, we don't have a lot of confidence you're going to get it done. And because we're a month into the season now, and we're starting to see the same thing. You don't need 8, 9, 10, 12 pitchers, but you got to have some. You got to have more. It's got to be more than John Armstrong that comes out the pen and consistently gets it done. And I'll give Allsop a pass because he's looked, not every outing is going to be great, and he's looked good the last couple of times going out the pen. But some of these other guys, man, it's every time you come out, you're giving up runs, you're giving up the lead, or whatever the case may be. We just can't trust you, and that's not. We're about to play the big boys, okay? I mean, it's not. This isn't going to get any easier at this point. So there's 2-3 guys in that pen that have got to decide, okay, this isn't going to be what it's going to be. And it's not impossible. You look at the guys last year like Mason Barnett, who really came on strong. You look at a guy like now I want to say Hayden Mullins, who rough start last year. I went to the Vanderbilt game last year at 8A where he gave 12 runs up in 1 inning. But ultimately, up until his injury, I think after that day, he got it turned around. So I'm not trying to be I believe in these guys. I know these guys can do it. But at this point, you're stringing together enough appearances to where this is kind of becoming a trend. And when you get 5 innings like you got out of Zach, and then you ultimately still give up 8 runs, it just kind of speaks for itself. He handed it to you in the 6th inning with a goose egg on the board, and they finished with 8. Gotta be better, bro. Gotta be better.
Yeah, and Will Cannon gets touched up, man. I think he gave up 3 runs.
4 hits.
So that is the concern right now for the Auburn Tigers is 100% the bullpen, man. I'm not even really worried about the starting rotation anymore. That was one thing everybody was kind of griping on, and no, I'm worried about the bullpen now, but that is really and truly the only concern about this team. Look, we're going to hit the baseball. There's no doubt about that. Auburn will tattoo the baseball. They will put barrel to ball. I'm not worried about the lineup one bit. There's so many different rotations and things you can do with this lineup. I'm not worried about that one bit. But man, game 3. Let's scoot over to game 3. Just one man right here that you got punched in the mouth, Dustin. All right, you got punched in the mouth. like I said, man, you could just feel it from the end of game 2, what was about to happen in game 3. Then you get in the last inning, you decide, hey, now I want to wake up. Now I want to make a run. I want to get down to my last out and make things pretty damn exciting. All right. You had Ryan Dowell up at the plate. Man, I'll tell you what, that 2-0 pitch didn't look like a strike. All right, Dustin, it looked a little high, man. I think they got one there. And look, my thing with that, man, I don't mean to go straight to the 9th inning and everything in that game, but college umpires, man, look, I know you don't want to just sit here and have a walk fest, okay? But don't take the bat out of a guy's hands, all right? It's a 2-0 count on Ryan Dowell. If a ball is up in his letters, all right, it's a ball, okay? There's nothing he can do with that pitch, all right? And that ball was high. It should have been a 3-0 count. And ultimately it moves it to 2-1, and it's a different count now. Ryan, he swings at something else, and it can mess with a hitter, man. It can throw a guy off that you put him in a different count like that. You might force his hand to swing at a pitch that he might not want to swing at. And then Ryan, he pops one up, gets out in front, and pops a lazy fly ball up to center field. Auburn loses 8-7. Man, just tell me the vibes from game 3, man.
Well, I left a little. I didn't finish it out.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on staying all day Saturday anyway. And my arm was on fire. But the my thing with it is just like, man. So the good thing to take away from game 3 is that if you look at game 2 and then you look at game 3, you say, okay, at some point you're only going to keep the Auburn bats down so long. Now, the last out of the game is a little too late to wait.
Yep.
But still, like, at any point, you're not out of it. I mean, this game was over, done, and then because we were watching it on the way on my phone on the way back.
Yeah.
And you're thinking it's over and done, and then all of a sudden, just bang, Ike Irish hits a doubler, and then and a quick note on that. You can't say the kid don't have power because he's probably hit a dozen doubles, it seems like, in the gap already. Is one of these going to get out of the park? I know Ike Irish can hit home runs, baby. I know
you just got to elevate, man. Look, that is why I made the comparison to Juan Soto, man, because if you really look, like when Juan starts the season early in his MLB season, because today he hit an absolute freaking nuke for the DR in the World Baseball Classic. But in his Major League Baseball season, he normally starts the season with no elevation, no lift on the baseball, man. Everything's just kind of line drive, gap to gap, line to line, ground balls through the 5-6 hole, hitting that thing backside. And he doesn't really start the season with a whole lot of pop out of the park, right? I think last year through so many games, man, like he only had 9 home runs to start the year, and he got off to like a really slow start hitting the ball out the park. And that's why I really love that comparison, is because I just look at their approach in the box and even their stance, man. Their stance is so similar. Their hands, where they keep their hands in their stance, is so similar. It's a mirror image. When Ike goes to the opposite field, it is just a reflection of Juan Soto every time I see it, man. He's got pop. It's just, when is he gonna find the lift on the baseball? Because I can tell you what, when he lifts one, it's going, brother. I can guarantee it. The kid can absolutely hit. Ike is still him. He is still, in my opinion, I've watched a lot of college baseball this year. He is still one of the best hitters in college baseball as a true freshman, in my opinion. And that's not knocking Bryson Ware for anything he's done. All right, we know he's been on fire. I'm just saying, I think Ike Irish shouldn't even be playing for Auburn right now. Yeah. I think he should be in the minor leagues. All right, that's just me. That's my opinion. Others might have a different opinion, but that's just me. And I think he is that dude. So yeah, I'm definitely waiting for the pop to come, man. Like for him to lift one up and out of Plainsman. Hopefully he can do it tomorrow night against Georgia Tech, man. that's a big midweek game.
Yeah, so my overall takeaway on game 3, brother, is just you ran out of arms after playing so many days. And not to pile on, but Ryan Olsen he gets 1 out, gives up 3 hits, three earned runs. And we just haven't seen a lot of them, Just haven't seen a lot of them this year. And then it's a tough spot to put the kid in right there. And when I saw him come out in that spot, I knew, I knew we were out of arms. So like, that's just what that is. And when overall though, just think about this. Let's just say Gonzo comes back fine. You insert Gonzo into this rotation. Don't you feel really good? Because like you mentioned, you already feel pretty good about the starting rotation. You put your best pitcher back in it, and man, okay. And then now I'm getting 5-6 innings out of Gonzo every start, and I'm not running out of pitchers on game 3. So there's just not a whole lot of weeks where you're going to play five baseball games in 6 days. And, I just think game 3 was one, you got kind of smacked in the mouth in game 2, and then it was 40 minutes and bang right back here. And they were still juiced up, still ready to smack you in the mouth because they've been ready to smack you in the mouth since you did it to them to end their season. They showed up. I mean, I could tell Friday, even when we beat them 7-1, just watching the way they were acting, like tomorrow is going to be a problem. Then it was obviously. So just I don't think it's it's not a big deal overall. What was it? There was a series last year that we dropped right here before conference play, and ultimately we still went to Omaha. Well, maybe was it? Did we drop this series to Rhode Island?
No, I think we beat them. I think one of the games everybody panicked about was when we lost to Yale, and they come back and beat us right there. And I think they scored the go ahead run in the top of the 8th or maybe the top of the 9th. And people were like panicking that we lost 5-4 to Yale, and they were just, oh my God, like this team, the bullpen's terrible and everything. Like, look, man, hold your horses. Don't hit the panic button just yet. Even if you go to Arkansas and you lose 2 out of 3 this weekend, Arkansas is one of the best teams in the country. Do not come back here and hit the panic button. This is
a lot of baseball.
A lot of baseball, and it's a really good Auburn team, man. They're young in a lot of spots, okay? No need to panic just yet. This conference is deep. This conference is going to get a lot of baseball teams into the tournament. Do not panic, all right? Do we host a regional this year? Maybe not, okay? But don't panic, all right? You might be a 2 seed, might be a 3 seed. I don't know. But I think this team has potential if they figure the bullpen out. Dustin, I'll leave it with you. Your final thoughts, your final words, whatever you got to say, man. The floor is yours.
Well, it's going to be a big week in Auburn sports. Obviously we got this big. I think it's a really big game versus Georgia Tech tomorrow night. Georgia Tech's a solid team.
Absolutely.
It's a rivalry that we've been playing them since the 1800s. So that's always important. And it's a tough midweek game. Definitely our toughest midweek game so far. And Jacksonville State was hard, difficult team too. But so big Tuesday night, and then obviously let's see what Bruce and the boys do Thursday. So I'm fired up for that one, and I don't even know what to expect, man. I've been just kind of sitting here with my hurt arm all day trying to scout Iowa, and it's like there's so many people that are acting like we just don't have a chance, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, you don't lose like 19, you don't go 19-13 on accident. So this idea that they're just going to kick our ass, I'm not entirely with that one. I'm not overly high on this basketball team, but just looking at
Dustin, I'm not a believer in the Big Ten, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to come at me for that, if you want to, say, hey, Blake, you're crazy, whatever, I don't care. I'm not a believer in the Big Ten. All right. I think it's weak. I don't think what they split with Northwestern. What'd they do against Northwestern?
I don't know. I know that they lost to a really bad Ohio State team in their conference tournament.
Okay. All right. We lost to Vanderbilt. All right. So, I've seen people say that Iowa was going to blitz us by 20. We'll find out. Have fun coming to Birmingham and playing Auburn in a home game because the jungle will be there, and they're going to be rowdy. And Kelvin Sampson, you can keep crying too, my buddy, for whatever. You're a 1 seed and you're complaining about a 9 seed playing in Birmingham, Alabama. Get out of here, bro. You didn't see that?
No.
Houston's coach, he said it's crazy that Auburn gets to play 2 hours away from their campus and they're a 9 seed. And he said, and we're a 1 seed and we have to go to Birmingham and play them. But maybe we should have been the 9 seed and we could have got to play in Houston.
Okay. Brother, we are 350th or worse in every offensive category. If you're worried about playing us in Birmingham, then you ain't the team. You ain't a 1 seed.
Well, we go 10-8 in the SEC.
Yeah. Now, what's his name? That clown. Because there's a couple of Goodmans that are clowns. But not AL.com's clown, Joe Goodman.
The other Jeff Goodman.
Who I do have to say, it is quite funny to watch how the tables have turned on him this past month.
Yeah.
To see all of a sudden,
bro, he asked Alabama players if they owned a gun. Like, what are you doing? What? Why are you even asking that, bro? As a journalist, like, I don't get that, man. Like, that's not the. I don't know. We're not gonna get it, but you don't need to be asking that. Like,
he's out there, but the other one, there's all these tweets of him throughout the season saying who has Auburn played.
Yeah.
Turns out, bro, that we played 13 teams that made the tournament.
Yeah.
And didn't fare like not a great record versus them, but obviously could have been a lot worse. There's a reason why we got that 9 seed. We played a really hard schedule and got our ass kicked one time. So that's why. So, and then Bruce made a good point today in his press conference. 117 years of Auburn basketball, 12th NCAA tournament appearance.
Insane, bro. Hey, did you see Brandy like straight up cooking, bro, on the tweet? Yeah. Bro, he said, congrats to a really good Colgate team. And she posted and she was like, didn't you say Auburn didn't beat anybody? And it was like the Colgate score. And, I mean, bro, she was straight up giving him the business.
He earned it.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Just whatever, I mean, I kind of feel like the media is against Bruce, and that's kind of why they get on that train of just kind of down in Auburn basketball and whatever, and I'm so sick of hearing these fans talk about, oh, well, Bruce has only won 2 SEC tournament games his entire tenure at Auburn. Like, man, Dustin, I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't give a damn about the SEC tournament. All right, it's cool.
The committee just showed they didn't. The committee just showed they don't care about these tournaments. They've shown it for 3 years now. They don't calculate it at all. Vanderbilt ain't in.
Yeah, it's cool and all, and it's if you win it, you win it. Like, hey, what Alabama did, you won the regular season. You put your stamp on the SEC tournament. That's cool. All right, but if I lose an SEC tournament, oh well, like that's fine. I'm not sweating it. All right, it is what it is. If we win it, that's awesome. All right. But, man, come on. I care about the dance, baby. Like, I want to put my dancing shoes on. I don't give a damn about no conference tournament. I want my dancing shoes on. That's what I want, all right? And so that's my thing, man. Lay off the BP, all that BS and everything. Get over yourself. So, Dustin, man, we'll hop out of here for tonight. We'll wrap this one up. Big weekend sports for Auburn, man.
Maybe some commitments. Maybe some football commitments come down the line too.
Hey, before we wrap it up, hold on 1 second, man. Hold on 1 second. Did you see Brother Hugh talk about the offensive line today?
What did he say? I got it queued up. I still got to watch it. I've been sleeping all day.
He said that is one group that's going to bring it every day in practice. He said that's one group that we ain't got to worry nothing about. He said because we got some dogs up there. All right. So, hey, that's like a breath of fresh air to hear a coach. First, a coach to even comment something like that, besides just completely blame others every single day of the week. But it is what it is, right? But shout out to Auburn football, spring practice, everything that's going on there. Brother Hugh playing a round of golf with our former Gus Malzahn, head football coach. Everything that Coach Hugh's doing, man. Salute to you, brother. We really appreciate you. And Dustin, with that, man, we'll wrap it up, and we'll leave y'all with a War Damn Eagle, and we will catch you on the next one. We're out.